Hello everyone, I'm Shyam Kannan from SmartLab Purdue University. I'm glad to present our work for IROS 2020, Material Mapping in Unknown Environments Using Tapping Sound. This is a collaborative work with Wansajo, Ramyas Parasuraman, and Byung Chol Min. To start with, this work was inspired by search and rescue scenarios. The environment tends to be having poor lighting conditions or being dark under most of the search and rescue situations. This leads to poor visibility, which in turn can make vision-based techniques for search and rescue fail at times. And also another requirement is that a map of the environment adds value to the search and rescue process. And also it is beneficial to have details of the environment such as access point and various materials present in there. In this work, we focus on addressing these issues by proposing a method based on sound, which is robust to the lighting conditions, and also at the same time gather details like map of the environment and the various materials present over there and so on. The contributions of this work are twofold. One, a material classification system, which uses a simple neural network for classifying the tapping sound when a material is tapped. And second, an autonomous exploration strategy, which enables a mobile robot to autonomously explore an unknown environment while it taps on the various materials present there and identifying them. The proposed approach could be summarized as a coupling of material classification system along with autonomous exploration system, which in turn produces a material map, which is nothing but the materials present in the environment being localized as icons over the occupancy grid of the map. For this work, we used a customized ClearPath Jackal mobile robot by attaching few additional hardware. The primary hardware components are a linear solenoid, which is used for tapping the material. And the solenoid was covered with a plastic head, which enables us to produce a crisp and a clear sound when a material is tapped. Second, a LiDAR, which is used for the robot to build the map and also localize itself. And third, a dual microphone setup, one at the front placed underneath the solenoid, which primarily captures the tapping sound produced, and another closer to the rear end of the robot, which is primarily focused on capturing the ambient noise. These two work together for active noise cancellation, which helps us to remove the effect of ambient noise in the classification. The video on the top right corner shows the functioning of the solenoid and the solenoid tapping a plastic can. The material classification system needs a data set based on which it could be trained upon. And in this work, we built our own data set for the training. Commonly available materials such as cardboard, glass, metal, plastic, wall, and wood were used to build the data set. And in addition to these, a class named as MT was also added, which is nothing but the tapping sound produced by the solenoid when there isn't any object in front of it. This was added so as that empty accidental taps of solenoid could be captured as a lack of material rather than being classified as a different material. And to build the data set, commonly available objects in day-to-day life were selected and they were tapped at various locations. Objects were of various sizes were selected to produce variations in the data set. A data set of size 1045 was built, and it was ensured that each class had at least 1000 audio clips recorded. Mil frequency sepal coefficients were used as the features for the classifications, and that was fed into a convolutional neural network for the classification. The neural network consists of 4 convolution layers coupled with a max pool layer, and the neural network was concluded with a softmax as a part of the fully connected layer. The neural network was trained following a 70-30 split, and an accuracy of 97.45% was obtained on the test set. And based on the confusion matrix, it can be seen that the classifier performs relatively well across all classes. The second part of the work is on the autonomous exploration. The autonomous exploration enables the robot to localize and map the environment. Basically, it does SLAM. And it also helps to identify the points at which the robot needs to tap and find the materials. And third, it helps to explore the environment until there are no unexplored regions. To start with, the robot is placed at a random location in an unknown environment, and it builds a partial map of the environment depending on the range of the LiDAR. This map is further processed to identify the points at which the robot needs to tap. As a first step, the map is segmented into various regions based on the curvature of the map. This was done based on the intuition that the curvature needs of the bounds tends to change when two objects are in close contact with one another. This was done so as that the segments could be extracted corresponding to different objects, and at least one tapping point could be generated per object so as to find it. So once the map is segmented, the map is further processed to find the tapping points. So in order to find the tapping points, we follow two different strategies depending on the length of the segment. In case of a shorter segment, which is usually less than a meter, we generate one tapping point by choosing its midpoint. For instance, the green segment in the figure shown was shorter than 1 meter, and a tapping point was generated at its midpoint. And for segments which are longer than a meter, multiple tapping points might be needed, since it need not be composed of one material all the time. And tapping at one point might lead to the additional materials present being missed. Also, at the same time, tapping at multiple points might consume too much time, hence delaying the search and rescue process. This needs further refinement where all the materials could be found out in a more intuitive way. Henceforth, we introduce a distance parameter gamma, which defines the sampling interval, the distance between 2 points to sample. And as seen in the red segment, 2 points to be sampled are placed at a distance gamma from one another, which was 0.5 meters in the illustration. Once the tapping points are found, now the robot needs to tap on these various locations. This needs the robot to route itself from one tapping point to another. And in our proposed method, we use traveling salesman problem to route the robot from one point to another. As the robot visits each tapping point, it taps on the material and finds its key component. Once all the tapping points are tapped, the robot proceeds to the frontier point, enabling it to further explore the environment. This process is repeated iteratively by finding new tapping points and moving to the frontier point until the entire environment is mapped. And every time a new map is built by extending its bounds, the same iterative process is repeated on the extended map rather than the completed map. And in case a segment got extended, the new tapping points are placed relative to the existing point at which it was tapped, rather than considering the segment as a brand new segment. For instance, from the figure, the new tapping points can be seen being placed to the left of the red dot, which was already sampled, and the two new additional points are on the same segment. So this process continues until there are no new regions to explore. That is, no new frontier points are found. And once no new frontier points are found and all the points have been tapped, the whole exploration process comes to an end. As seen on the figure on the right, the complete map has been built. There are no new frontier points, so the exploration comes to an end. And partially the map has been mapped with the materials classified, and the other half has the tapping points found which are yet to be tapped, and the materials needs to be found out. And once it's done, the whole process comes to an end. In this slide, we show the results obtained during an experiment in a dark indoor hallway, and materials like concrete, wood, cardboard, wall, and metal were present. And the first figure shows the ground truth map, where the bounds are marked with various colors depending on the key constant materials. And the experiment was repeated for different values of gamma, like 0.5 meters, 1 meter, 2 meters, and so on. And it was found that the robot was able to successfully autonomously navigate, tapping on the materials and hence finding the materials present. The experiment was also repeated on a different setup for the same values of gamma. And even in this situation, it was able to find out all the materials present. But at times, due to errors in the localization, the robot was not able to orient itself perpendicular to the wall, and hence the solenoid was not able to reach the wall, hence it becoming an empty tap and few materials not being found at times. The following table summarizes the overall accuracy and the time taken for the exploration. From the real world experiments, it was found that the robot was able to classify the materials with an accuracy of over 86%, and also the time tends to decrease as the value of gamma increases. As the value of gamma increases, number of points to tap reduces, and hence reducing the time taken for the exploration. This builds a trade-off between the number of features or the number of points to tap and the time taken for the whole exploration. So depending on the scenario and the constraints, the use of distance parameter enables us to tune to find more features or spend less time depending on the context. To conclude, we introduced a twofold strategy to identify and localize materials in an unknown environment. It was found that the classifier was able to classify the materials with an accuracy of over 86% in real world setups. And also the proposed method has an ability to speed up the exploration or increase the number of tapping points to find more features. As a future work, we tend to use this method to solving SLAM problems like loop closure and so on. Thank you for listening to the talk and your attention. In case of any future questions, feel free to reach out to any of the authors. Thank you.